Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Your Voice Matters. I'm Justin Brown. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. It is a busy time in the political world. It is qualifying week here in Columbus and other local municipalities. So we're going to be looking at what is happening in our local races, like city council races and the mayor's race here in Columbus. Also in the legislature in Georgia and Alabama, we are nearing crossover day. We spoke last week on what crossover is. It is that exact dead center of session when all the bills in the House and Senate have to switch and flip-flop, go to the other chamber to get voted on by those senators and representatives. Crossover is later on this week, so we're going to be checking in with our political correspondents in Montgomery and in Atlanta to hear how representatives and senators are feeling leading up to crossover and some bills that are being discussed right now. But first, here locally, it is qualifying week, so we are going to be highlighting one race in specific this week. We're going to be looking into the District 1 City Council race. Now, it's interesting that pretty much every city council seat, I believe it's all but one city council seats, are up for election this year. And then also the mayor's seat is up for election. But District 1 has two candidates that are from pretty much outside the political arena. It is Simi Barnes and Karen Gaskins. Now, first, Simi Barnes is the daughter of the late Jerry Pops Barnes, the former Columbus city councilman, a very loved city councilman. And she spoke to me earlier about her vision for a Columbus that listens to its citizens and about a district that knows that district citizens that feel heard. And she says that in her district, District 1, that is what she desires to make happen should she be elected District 1 City Councilwoman. So take a listen to my interview with District 1 candidate Simi Barnes. Into that, for those that don't know you, what do you want them to know about you before they go to the polls in just a couple of months?
Well, I think I have a lot of experience. Although this is my first time running for office, I have a lot of experience. So I'll just give you a little bit of background. For more than 15 years, I've worked on the front lines on the very issues that cities deal with every day: mental health, homelessness, and substance abuse. I've helped families in crisis, survivors of sexual violence, and helped transition homeless residents into safe and affordable housing. I've also managed programs, staff, and budgets. So not only do I understand the human side, I understand how, systems and funding have to work in order to solve these challenges. I think, that combination has prepared me to run for city council.
Some of the issues that you lay on your website first is transparency. You make a point to say that I pledge not only to listen, but also to share the reins of democracy, because as a community, we lead together, making this city better every step of the way. You talk about wanting to host quarterly in-person town hall meetings, working collaboratively with other leaders without colluding, and supporting the implementation of technology.
Yes.
How do you plan to do all that? And also, what kind of technology do you think needs to be implemented?
Well, I would say that that's two questions here.
Right.
So one of the things I do plan to have quarterly in-person town meetings where residents can ask questions, share their concerns, and voice their ideals to me. Additionally, I believe transparency requires listening to the very voices that matter the most, and that is the citizens. And so that's what I mean by we lead together. And because of my background as a licensed professional counselor, I bring a little bit of that into this space because I'm always, as the therapist, I'm not the expert. The client is the expert. I'm just a facilitator. And so even in this role, I don't consider myself the expert. I listen to the voices around me, and we come with a consensus of what's going to work best for the community. So that's what I mean by that. As far as implementing technology, I think residents need to see how decisions are made and where their money goes. I think when people don't see that, they come to their own conclusions, and those conclusions tend to be negative. I want to see us move away from that, especially in our local races. I know there's always going to be an air of distrust when it comes to government. I think that just comes with the job. But I think if we can be as transparent as possible, I think we can minimize some of that.
You talk about community center development is development that has one thing in mind, and it's the citizens. You talk about how you want to support funding for affordable housing, and you want to ensure the short and long term economic and environmental stability of development. And then also, you say that you want to ensure that new development contributes to the economic success of community. Break that down. What do you
So
mean
it's
by
a
that?
lot. I've been going to council meetings for almost 2 years, and zoning is a hot topic. in well, not even in this city, but in local governments, period. And affordable housing is also a hot topic. And sometimes, when you bring that conversation up, sometimes there tends to be a lot of concern because I think there's a stigma with affordable housing, unfortunately. And so what I want to do is invite residents to the table early, have those conversations early with people, and kind of find out, what vision that they have for their community. Again, people's voices matter, right? We're all taxpayers, so I think we all need to have a voice in how our community looks, right? And so I think just it starts with a conversation. For me, it starts with a conversation, and then secondly, it's making sure that people have evidence-based information, because there's a lot of misinformation out there about what affordable housing is. And so
You talk about how you want Columbus to, you say Columbus deserves peaceful and vibrant communities. And you say to achieve this, we must adopt a holistic approach to addressing crime. And some of those issues, you say that you want to increase funding for programs that treat root causes of crime, address underlying psychological issues, and implement evidence-based strategies. First of all, what do you mean by evidence-based strategies?
okay, so evidence-based strategies, I really should have thought about that before I used that term. That's a third term. But what it means is that it has been proven through research to be effective. That's just basically, it's just a fancy way of saying that. And so I know that I go to a lot of council meetings. So a lot of the things that I have on my website have been greatly influenced by what I've witnessed in city council. And at one time, there was just some concern because we have this wonderful crime prevention program, but there was some concern just to make sure that the programs that we are funding, making sure that they are doing what they say that they're going to do, so that they are evidence-based. If they say they're going to do A, that they can show that they're doing A. And I think that's important. And so that's what I mean by that. Making sure that we're funding programs and making sure that we have programs that actually treat the root causes of crime and give us the results that we're paying for.
What would you say the root causes of crime are for the area in Columbus?
Well, I can't say for the area in Columbus because I think it's nationwide. A lot of times it's poverty, that's a big driver. That lack of substance abuse issues, mental health issues, and other psychosocial factors play into crime. It's not as cut and dry as, oh, this is a bad person. It's not always that cut and dry. Sometimes it is, but a lot of times it's not. It's very complex. And so I would like to, treat that complexity.
All righty. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you so much, Miss Barnes, for talking to us. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to speak to Karen Gaskins, who has a career at the Columbus Police Department, Muskogee County Sheriff's Office, and more. And we're going to hear her vision for a safer Columbus. Stay with us. Welcome back to Your Voice Matters. Justin Brown here. We're still talking about District 1, and we're going to be hearing from a candidate, Karen Gaskins, who has a very long career with the Columbus Police Department and Muskogee County Sheriff's Office. She is asking voters to envision a safer district with her, and a district that has all the resources it needs to be safe. So listen to my interview with District 1 candidate, Karen Gaskins. That you have never run for an office before. This is your first time. You said that your husband has run,
Correct.
but this is your first time running for office. Explain a little bit about how your campaign's going. Has anything surprised you? Has it been the way that you thought it was going to be?
Oh, it's been fascinating to me because I've spent my whole life serving the community with the police department, and that's opened up lots of doors for me. But just going through our district and talking with people, different areas, they all have concerns. So some are more concerned about flooding, some are more concerned about the condition of our roads, to littering, to the chaos going on in our government. And so I have enjoyed getting to meet a lot of different people.
You say on your website that you're running for a Columbus that believes where Columbus can be a city where every neighborhood thrives. And one of the issues that you're running on is building affordable housing that strengthens communities. Explain a little bit about that. Why do you think affordable housing in certain areas of the community is so needed?
Well, the Georgia Tech study that our current council did not long ago actually came back and said that we need affordable housing. Affordable housing is not $325,000 house. It's more in the range of $150,000 house. And if you just drive through District 1, you can see numerous areas where we just have vacant lots. So why can't we go back into those areas and build small homes, different types of housing? Georgia Tech says we need 1 and 2 bedroom houses, not 3,300 square feet. We have plenty of those on the market, but everyone needs a place to live. And right now I'm learning we have numerous homeless families out on Buena Vista Road living in cars. And so that's one of the first areas I want to target.
Talk about open and honest leadership. You say trust between citizens and government must be rebuilt. I'm committed to transparency in every decision and to listening directly to the concerns of our community. You mentioned that before, knocking on doors and
Right.
the reaction from people that hear that they want to be listened to. Explain a little bit about that. How has that been?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's been amazing. And there have been people that have just asked me to come in, and we've sat there and talked for an hour. It's just great, a great relationship being established. But as I currently work on the Animal Oversight Board for the city, I've done that for a year and a half, and all the stuff that our city experienced through the atrocities that happened out there, we can never let that happen again. And people have to be accountable. We have to be transparent about what is going on, and then we need to fix it.
Running for whatever the people are asking is what you would like to try to do.
Right. I want to fit my platform in there because I definitely, especially the crime piece, I have some great ideas just because of my experience, not only personal experience in my life, but my career at the police department as a supervisor. I can identify those issues. So now I want to try to incorporate those. Let's be honest and let's start with intervention and prevention of crime. We have done a wonderful job getting our enforcement with our PD and our sheriff's department to where it needs to be, but now we need to add those other pieces. If we don't go for those 3rd grade children, then the gangs are going to enlist them. So I want to see a community resource center. Let's be honest here. Where does majority of the crime start? I would say the South End, and I'm a South End girl, so I can say that. But let's do a resource center, and let's put all the resources. Let's bring in children, at-risk youth, and let's assess what are their particular needs. If it's reading, we do have many schools that are failing. If it is addiction for the older kids, whatever their need is, medical, clothing, food, those resources, we need to put them in one place. Columbus does a great job offering different resources, but again, how do these people get there? So I want to see it right in the heart of South Columbus, and I want to see our buses, our school buses with parental consent can bring those children there after school and have an hour and a half, 2 hours of tutoring, or medical, or whatever that need is for that child. It could be therapy, dealing with issues at home for younger teenagers, but we need to provide the resources for those kids that want a better life.
Final pitch to voters. Running for District 1, Election Day is coming up, the primary is coming up. Your final pitch to them, why should they vote for you?
Because I'm a candidate for the people. If you look at who has donated to my campaign, there is not one business, there's not one who's who in Columbus. I have no hidden agenda. I am willing to go back to work for the people, as I have done for 3 years now, in dealing with their issues, their concerns, making life better for them. And I'm ready. I'm ready to continue to do that. To do more, I need to be in the council seat. Someone told me, Karen, you're already doing the work of a councilman, but I can do more as a counselor.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, Justin.
All right. Thank you very much, Miss Gaskins, for coming on the show. We're going to take another break. When we come back, we will be looking into how the legislature is feeling as we are approaching that crossover day. We're going to be looking into what's happening in Montgomery and in Atlanta. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Your Voice Matters. Let's take a look into the legislature, what's happening in Montgomery and in Atlanta. Like I said, crossover day is coming up in just about 3 days from now to when all the bills in the House and the Senate both flip, and they have to either make it to the next chamber, or the bills that don't have to unfortunately die, and they'll try again. They'll try again next year. So let's listen to Abacasaurus on what's happening in the Georgia legislature.
Lawmakers are feeling the pressure. The question now, which bills will live and which will die?
The bill will also require
the sights and sounds of crunch time at the Georgia Capitol. Press conferences, passionate pleas, and packed hallways.
Stop HB 942!
While lawmakers inside the chambers began jamming bills through, one after another.
I still got another page to go through. Bye.
Friday is crossover day. Bills pass their chamber or die. More than half of all proposed legislation typically doesn't make it, which is stressing out Nicole Campbell. She's pushed for service dog protections for 6 years after her last service dog was blinded in an attack.
If it was to pass, I would be elated because the legislation means the world to me because I was affected because the legislation wasn't there.
Marcus Gillum wants state scholarship opportunities to expand to people who have been arrested in the past.
Creating more opportunities also creates an opportunity for a better and brighter future, which affects us all.
When lawmakers agree, things move fast. Tuesday, Governor Brian Kemp signed the amended budget, a $1 billion tax refund, expanded express lanes, and scholarships.
This isn't the government's money. It is the people of Georgia's money.
Stop HB 942.
But when they don't, fierce opposition. House Bill 942 sparked a showdown. Critics say the bill threatens Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport's financial stability. Bills that survive Friday have to head to the opposite chamber, where they will be debated and possibly amended. Lawmakers are preparing for a marathon voting session right up until that midnight deadline. At the state capitol, I'm Abby Casaurus.
Thank you very much, Abby. And now we will go over to Montgomery to hear about what bills have to be switched or what bills are not going to make it through the legislature this time around.
I think, the next half of the session, we'll see the budgets come out. That's our primary focus anyway, and we'll get that behind us and give a chance to move forward.
The budget discussion did not start with those comments from House Speaker Nathaniel Ledbetter. Governor Kay Ivey released her recommended budgets for the General Fund and Education Trust Fund nearly 2 months ago. Education is proving to be a key focus once again. Governor Ivey's recommended education budget is even more money than last year's record-setting nearly $10 billion budget.
As a former teacher, I knew that could not stand, so we went to work immediately. We need the next generation to step up and be prepared.
Governor Ivey had said in her State of the State she wants to give teachers a 2% pay increase. House Minority Leader Anthony Daniels says he wants raises of at least 5%. Compared to last year's past budget, Governor Ivey has recommended another $13 million for the Department of Early Childhood Education and $35 million for the community college system.
I just hope that this budget reflects more investments in higher education and opportunity.
But the recommended budgets are just that, recommended.
We have to make the judgment to be able to put dollars where we see is going to be best reflective of the state in addition to the governor's recommendations.
Alrighty, thank you very much, Jessica. And thank you very much for tuning into this week of Your Voice Matters. We'll be back next Tuesday at 7 p.m. to look more in depth into the local races here and hopefully getting to the mayor's race as well. Also, don't forget, Monday or Tuesday, April 7th, WTVM is going to have a mayoral debate at the River Center, and more details will be coming up on Newsletter 9. Don't forget to put that on your calendar, and you don't want to miss that debate to hear what these candidates have envisioned for the city of Columbus. We'll be back here on Your Voice Matters next Tuesday at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Have a good night.